You're live.
All right. I think we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Weekend Live with Crystal and I. So let us know if you can see us and hear us and everything okay in the chat. I do have it on like a, I think I have it on like a 10-second delay. I don't know why, but it just asked me for a number between 0 seconds and 300 seconds. And I figured I was like, well, it seems vulnerable to be like 0-second delay on the chat. So, all right. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Sarah. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And then, and we'll get started. Hey, homies, I see you. Hear you fine. That's all we needed to know. All right. So we've got Crystal here. You guys know she's my wonderful girlfriend. Partner. I feel like it's so juvenile to call you my girlfriend by this time, but I guess I gotta pop the question, like everyone always says. Yeah, and we're gonna answer your questions today on, like everything that was in the thumbnail. Anything about vegan nutrition, exercise, building muscle. You guys saw Crystal making some crazy gains in that thumbnail. So yeah, just start shooting your questions away and we will get answering. Oh my gosh, I have a big line on my head from wearing my hat.
Oh, you got a tan?
No, it's just like because I had my hat
Oh.
jammed on my head too tight. But luckily enough, I got my little head covering.
Yeah.
Because I had a feeling like my hair was gonna bug me, but I didn't think it was gonna be a red line on my forehead.
Yeah, you need to get a haircut. Your hair's so long right now.
I know. And by get a haircut, we cut my own hair.
Yeah, you gotta cut your own hair.
All right. So, okay. Hello, Vegan Metalhead. Hello. Send us our first super chat. So yeah, we do. Super chat is enabled, but honestly, you guys don't feel like you have to, donate any money to ask a question. We're going to be answering as many questions from the chat as we can. And if you need your hard-earned money to buy bananas and dates and beans and stuff, you just keep it because we can buy that stuff right now. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone for showing up. So we got 160 people. Let's hope that number grows, but doesn't matter. We're here to chat with you guys. What up from Portland? We love Portland. And New Hampshire, never been there. I just cut my own hairs this morning, Danny J. I like that. Yeah.
I haven't cut my own hair yet. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared to cut my own hair. It's just so long, and I feel like you could just mess it up so easily.
At least you can see it. With me, I'm just behind my head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's okay. Just a comment. I saw that pic of Derek and the 3 other vegan bodybuilders, and I thought how Crystal should have been in that shot to show rockin' women's bods.
Oh, was that at the at Gold's?
I guess it might have been. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I was the one that actually took that picture. So someone's got to take the picture, and that's okay. I wasn't in my final form at that point.
I wonder which one you saw. Yeah, there was it
was probably with you and Brian and John.
Like the one that was on Facebook this morning. It seems so weird. Like I didn't even post that.
No,
one. Anyway,
I think they just said that
in general.
Saw, in general.
Right. It's gone around that picture.
There's a lot of pictures. Yeah.
You're very humble. That's why you're successful. Congrats. Much love and keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I don't know what to say about that. I really appreciate that. No reason not to be humble. We're all just doing our best.
Oh, hey, Derek, what do you think of our Lord and Savior knees over toes guy?
Is that right? Yeah.
I don't know how to say
from
your name, but I just wanted to bring that up because it's funny because I started reading the comment and I was like, "Where's this going?" And I was like, "Oh, knees over toes." Yeah. I
like it. I think we needed some buddy to come in and show that you need to do more than just super linear work. There were people doing that. Obviously people have always thought this way, but he was kind of the one that came out and it was popular and talking about it. And I think it's great. I love learning about this stuff. And for so long we were taught these certain things about biomechanics that might not be completely true. And he's kind of questioning a lot of that.
Or might not work for certain bodies and stuff like that.
Right.
I personally find it really hard, depending on my what kind of squat I'm doing or whatever. But to have your knees not over your toes, almost have it I always thought. I was always so scared to do that.
Yeah.
But my thighs and stuff are so long that I almost I don't know. I feel like it kind of almost does it on its own.
His whole thing.
His
thing's there's a lot more than just squats and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's really good. And kind of have had a little bit of knee pain recently, so I have been tuning into him a little bit more, and I want to get more into it. Anyways, I don't know much about it. Let's get into some more questions. So let's see what's in that smoothie. Oh yeah, good question. So this is a pretty standard one. We've got 2 or 3 bananas, I can't remember, a cup and a half or so of dates, flaxseed.
Dates?
No, not a cup and a half or so. A cup and a half or so of blueberries.
I was like, oh wow, okay,
It's
we're
like-
going super high carb today.
Diabetes.
No,
Nah.
that would be like the sweetest smoothie ever.
And then some flaxseed. I actually have some lemon zest in this one because there was like this lemon sitting there, and I just wanted to cut off some of that zest and get it in there. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Water, Viva Life protein powder, creatine. Yeah, that's it. Oh, cool. Wanted to let you know that Vegetoria will be back on this year in Victoria, put on by the Vancouver Island Vegan Society. So very
Nice.
cool. So I don't know, most of you guys probably know we live on Vancouver Island, and this sort of events and stuff like that are a bit limited. So that's really
It's fun
good
because
to hear.
it's outdoors as well.
Yes.
It's so nice in the summer to go down there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to go.
Yeah, we definitely will have to go. It's man, after the last 2 years, like any sort of like social thing, I don't know, but you guys, like especially here in Canada, I just like absolutely live for it. Like I went to like a small car meet the other day, and it was just like I was just chatting everyone's ears off. Crystal's laughing at me because I don't give a crap. I'm like, I don't care if they think I'm a loser. I just want to like talk to people. No, not a cup and a half of dates, Jacob B. I messed up. Can you eat raw asparagus? Yeah, you can definitely eat raw asparagus. It's like, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. Nothing in there that you shouldn't
Just
eat.
really crunchy. You can chop it
Yeah.
up and put it on a salad or something.
Yeah. We could probably eat more of it if it was cooked. That's just me though.
Have you ever done a Spartan race? Eric Carter asked, and he said, "Which one? What was your experience?" I'm
Yeah, I
doing
did a
one next
Spartan.
week.
No, he's doing. I thought you said I was. I was like, what?
I know you had
On
a
the
moment where
schedule?
you're like, no, he's doing one.
Good for you, man. It's gonna be so fun. The best time ever. Yeah, I did mine in Vancouver. It was on Seymour or Cypress. No, it's on Seymour Mountain.
Yes.
Mount Seymour. And yeah, I'd been training for the events, and I didn't realize that like most of it is the run. And I was like training, like, I could do like, hand over hand, like bars, and there was like, I don't know what there was, like the spear throwing and like all the balancing stuff and all that. And yeah, I was good with that, except for the first bit of the run. It was on the hottest day of the year. First bit of the run was like straight up to the top of the mountain, and it was absolutely brutal. I just want to say, if we hit the table too much, it does shake. Just so you're aware of it, because I forgot to tell you before we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get my long arms off of there.
So
yeah, Derek thought he was gonna like win the race. He's like, "Oh, this is my race. I'm gonna win this. Get the fastest time." And then
I might have.
And then he had to like run up the hill, and just it was like so.
I was still in the top.
It was so much.
Okay, let me tell the story properly. I was in the top percentage. I was in the top like 4 or 5 guys when we got to the top of the hill. But then we came up on the back of the the slow people from the group ahead of us.
Oh, right.
So after I just sprinted up this hill, like the hardest I ever
wait.
exercised in my life, we just had to wait in a line, and then they didn't like take that off of my time. So at the end of the day, I had this like super long time, but I could have flashed through it way quicker.
So unless you're like the first group
That's
to
what
go
we
through
learned.
the course, you're probably going to be waiting a little bit. So that's nice because it gives you some rest time,
Mhm.
but you might not be able to get like the fastest time if that's what you're trying to do.
Yes. All right. So yeah, Eric Carter, I'm so scared. Nah, don't be scared. It's fun, and like it's more about like the camaraderie.
Like a group thing.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
And then you see people like struggling with stuff, they're like falling off, and everyone's like cheering them on. It's the best. It really is the best. Oh, how tall is Crystal? That one just popped out at me. Taller than me. That's how tall Crystal is. Crystal's probably 5'8" or so now.
Yep.
And I'm around 5'6". But I'll tell you what, Crystal was around the same height as me when we started dating. And then she started doing yoga and straightened out her like scoliosis, her back. And
it wasn't like I was born with scoliosis. Don't get the wrong impression. I just had like a little bit of just from like poor posture.
You could see though, your back was like wavy like that.
Okay, it was not that bad.
But now it's straightened up for sure. But I
swear, like it was just so bad.
But you did get taller.
But yeah, yoga, so good, especially like back bends and stuff like that. So good for like opening the muscles up.
Do I ever listen to death metal? You know what? Sometimes Vegan Metalhead asked that. You would. Yeah. Sometimes I listen to a little bit, but it's a little bit like aggressive for me. But I do listen to it sometimes. Like oh man, I can't even like remember the names are actually also aggressive. But yeah, I have a playlist on there on Spotify, and if I want to like go really hard on my workouts. And you know who I just discovered recently, which is funny. Crystal's gonna laugh at this, but the band Tool. I don't know if any of you guys listen. I put it off for so long because I don't know why everyone was always like, "Have you heard of Tool? Have you heard of Tool? You should listen."
And you're like, whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't really care. And then I saw a comment on YouTube, and it was like, "Tool, everyone likes Tool, they just don't know it yet." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And then so I listened to it, and I was like, you know, this stuff's pretty good. So I don't mind like the top few of their songs, but it's definitely not like hard metal. You're probably laughing, being like, "Oh my god."
Someone asked if there's a drawing of you as Simpson characters in the wall behind you, and there is. It's hard to see because we have like a plant, but yeah, that's Derek.
Yeah, we showed
That's
it last
me,
time.
and that's the two cats. Yeah, we showed it last time.
I won't
in our
grab it
last
off the wall this
live.
time.
But my dad actually made that for Derek for a Christmas present, which
Yeah.
is like it's like so cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. So, any specific yoga flows I should try for mild scoliosis? Crystal.
Oh, I would just go like, I mean, probably go and like see a yoga teacher, which would be like the most professional response. But I just like went on YouTube and found like a bunch of videos on there, and there's lots of videos, lots of stretching and stuff.
And it wasn't
on there.
particularly for straightening your back out. That wasn't like your
No, it
idea.
was just like yoga. I just wanted
Yeah.
to do something before bed, stretch my body a little bit, and it just ended up helping.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it was like, yeah, like certain yoga poses, but just
Yeah.
like getting
And
more
I think
flexible
I
and
think your
opening up a
posture-
little bit more.
yeah, I think your
and
posture
having
changed.
better posture too.
Yeah, and that
Really
helped.
helped.
That helped to bring you up.
Sorry, I keep
Do you want to move
knocking
over?
it. No,
Here,
I'm sorry.
I'll move over. You move over.
Derek's just like.
Well,
I keep, like, knocking the
I know if
table.
you're if I'm watching a thing and it's like, I know I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go like watch something way more exciting than this. So let's get some more questions. So this is a good question. I get this one a lot actually. Ashley McDaniel says, "Sure, probably missed, but you don't use a lot of potatoes. What's your thought on the Starch Solution and on potatoes?" So I do. I like potatoes. I definitely eat a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, we love
Yeah, why? Like I just did a video, like I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, on how to make like crispy hash browns. And so, you know, I do eat potatoes. We love them. But let me think. A lot of the time, you know, I'm thinking like I try and include like a higher protein source in each of my meals. And then sometimes, you know, you can bang out like both carbs and protein. I mean, that's how it works most of the time with something like lentils or beans or like lentil pasta, you know, and that sort of stuff. So then I often will have that. And then it's like, well, you know, yeah, maybe I'm just like too lazy or whatever to cook potatoes, something on top of that. But yeah, love potatoes. I think they're great. Starch Solution. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to criticize it because Dr. McDougall is like, you know, infinitely more like educated and experienced than I am. And I think it's definitely helpful for like a certain demographic, and that demographic that he kind of goes after, people that are chronically ill, trying to heal. Yeah. I think it's really helpful. We had a little kitty sneeze up there. So yeah, hopefully.
But we don't eat that way. We don't eat like you know, like that way.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, we don't eat that way. Yeah, I definitely eat higher fat for sure. I just saw the vegan metalhead was like just said the names, and I was like, yeah, those are like pretty aggressive names. Cannibal Corpse. Okay, so Derek, have you ever considered doing an Ironman? You know, I thought about doing like the sprint ones.
So much.
Yeah. Okay. So
hard.
A while ago, I was definitely training more for endurance and stuff like that. Haven't so much now, but I still have great endurance. Like I can go out for a run and just like run forever, and I could go for a bike ride and like bike forever.
Run forever.
Well, longer than
me. Okay,
depending on the speed,
you're right. Longer than me.
Slowly, I could run for a long time. I'm not fast, but anyways, yeah, okay. I think one day I would like to do that. Swimming though, I'm not great at, and I don't like to really do that either. So I think if I could do like a duathlon where it's just like biking and running, that would be like ideal for me. Yeah. Man, the whole wet aspect of it, like you have to add that on, then you're like biking in the wet and you're like cold and you probably have leeches on you and like
just like all your bits are all wet and it's just chafing, and it's a lot, but I'm sure that there's things that you can do to like prevent all that kind of stuff.
Someone says Unnatural Vegan and Goji Man did great reviews of your videos. Did you watch them? If not, you should. I sent them both to you when I found them.
Were they recent?
Cool. I don't know. I don't think that recent, but okay, I'll tell you guys what. When you're like, you know, like on social media, I mean, all of us are, but once you have like start getting like lots more eyes on you, it's kind of like, it's hard to like absorb everybody's opinions on what they think of you. And it's like, I understood those are like positive videos, but sometimes I just don't watch them because it's hard for me to like, I don't exactly know how to explain, but it's like, you know, if someone was just like, here, do you want to know like what somebody thinks of you like in depth and without any filter? And then
You're like,
you know, sometimes you'd be like,
really.
you know what? No, I don't want to know that. Like, I'm cool, just like continue to be myself and doing my thing. So I appreciate the positive feedback. You know, I think, yeah, they're both doing their own thing in their own way, and I appreciate that, and I know that they can be pretty harsh critics, so it's very nice. You know, I don't like being criticized negatively, but whatever. I'm just doing my thing either way, whether they, you know, were positive or negative about it. But I'm happy that they am. And I don't, and it's not that I watch. It's not like a disrespect thing that I don't watch them.
Right.
It's just like really hard to internalize all that sort of stuff, and then also to see someone narrating like your life and like what you do. It's really vulnerable. So. Yeah.
And also without knowing like the full picture of all that kind of stuff, right? When someone just looks at one video
Mhm.
and they nitpick it,
Mhm.
and it's just like, well, that's like not really a full picture. Of
Yeah,
it.
what's her name
so-
did that? Abby Sharp did that as well, and she gave me a pretty positive review. And that was one I did watch a little bit of, and she was just kind of like, she was upset that I didn't talk about like supplementation, and it's like, well, yeah, I don't mention it in every single video, and she happened to watch the parts of the videos and the videos that I didn't like mention it in. But I, you know, you got to supplement. Everyone knows you got to take B12 if you're a vegan, that sort of stuff. Anyways, any more questions? Let's get another one. Random comment. Love your sauces. Thank you. I
You're
love
the
your.
sauce king.
I just don't like plain food. So it's like, if I'm not gonna be like the sauce king and make all sorts of sauce, I'm gonna be eating junk, so and packaged food. So it's like I gotta figure it out.
If you're gonna make a home gym, what would your top 3 equipment be? Becky asked.
Oh, Becky asked. For sure the parallel bars, like the dip bars, those are amazing because not only can you do like push stuff on them, but you can also get underneath them and do different like pulling exercises. And then like, you know, it's really versatile. You can do like tricep extensions on them. You can use them as hurdles, all types of different things. So, and those are the ones that I've had that piece of equipment since I started. I've been through multiple, you know, versions of it or whatever, bought many times.
We have so many of
but
them.
and also because I work with Libert on those, but yeah, so definitely that
pull-up bar,
if you can fit a pull-up bar,
or like maybe one that goes in your
yeah, but
door frame?
yeah, door frame pull-up bar would be like a really good one. That was another one that I started with, and then maybe a set of like
rings or a TRX, maybe like rings would be.
Yeah,
I feel like that, but I guess it's kind of like the dip
I
bars
think
because you can. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
That's
like if you're gonna do you have the 2 calisthenics things. I think then a set of dumbbells, like a set of like 25 or 20, depending on like your strength. Something that's hard for you to like press overhead, because there's definitely like a weight that you can find if you only want to find one that you can like kind of use for pressing overhead. You can use for like hammer curls. Then you could use them for like weighted sort of like dumbbell like squats. All that sort of stuff. So that's what I think probably.
I forgot that they didn't mention it was like not body weight only. So yeah, dumbbells would make sense if you could do that. Have you seen Bigfoot yet?
Calisthenics is life over here.
Mantis.
Have I seen Bigfoot yet? No, I have not. But I'm into it. Like I don't know for it seems like ridiculous.
We're so into it. Sometimes when it's dark and like you're on like a logging road or you're driving and you're just like, is today going to be the day? Like
I listen to, there's a couple good channels on YouTube that have like Bigfoot like testimonies and stories and stuff like that, and like I listen to them when I fall asleep a lot of the time, just because I don't know, they're kind of cool, like nature stories and whatever. So until I see one, I don't know. Hey, nice toque. Why don't you show your amazing haircut? Just joking. Because I need a haircut, first of all, and like really, my hair is really bad, and I had this like line from wearing my hat earlier. It's probably gone away now, but
your smoothies make me sleepy and fall asleep sometimes.
Why
is that, and what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, so could be just your body can't handle the spike in sugar that you get from that. So you would want to either make them lower glycemic, but including less sweet and sugary fruits. Or just eat the fruit, eat the stuff that you're going to have as the smoothie, because that'll help to slow that down. Have it slower over a longer period of time. That could also help. And
maybe make smoothie bowls. So you're like eating, kind of chewing and like add some stuff on top.
Yeah. Or if have a smaller smoothie and then to get all that good stuff in that, because that's why I have smoothies. It's like I'm not eating like cilantro and flax seeds and like ginger and turmeric. in my oatmeal or whatever. Actually, that sounds all right. But you know what I mean? I'm not generally having that after my workout unless I, you know, cram it all into a smoothie. So maybe like have a small smoothie and then have other food that you do a little bit better on with it, you know, like oats or, you know, whatever it might be, leftovers or whatever you're eating. Hopefully that helps. I think it's a good enough answer. Yeah. Okay. Add more kale to your smoothie, that person someone says. There you go. Add more kale. Helps to balance the old blood sugar. Cinnamon can help as well, but it's not likely going to help like, you know, that drastically that you're not going to notice that. But yeah, it's an interesting observation. Paying attention to how foods make you feel is very important. So good for you. Let's see. Have you ever visited Bellingham, Washington? It's very close to BC, and I think you two would like it. I visited Bellingham, Washington. It was before we started dating. I used to live in like White Rock, and Bellingham was like right over the border. And that was when, oh man, the dollar was like like it was so different. So like when we went from no, it was closer back then. That's right, it was closer.
Because it was like you could go across the border and get like really good deals.
Yeah, such good deals. And then there was Trader Joe's there. And then in Bellingham, I also used to go. There was like a co-op that I used to go to too. And yeah, so much more selection and variety and stuff. But yeah, it's been a couple years since we've been to the States. Things are a bit funky. All right.
What if the same workout makes you sore again and again, but not painfully? Should you continue the same routine?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
well, like if it's pain like joints, then no.
Yeah. But if it's like DOMs, then you're obviously like working your muscles pretty good. If it's uncomfortable and you don't like it though, you could always like change weight, change volume of stuff.
Yep.
It's always good to mix workouts up anyways.
It's just your body. Yeah. Once it gets adapted, you're going to like crave that sort of thing. Like, you know, cause you know how it is. Like it's hard, it's hard to get that, that sort of like DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness that you get, when you first start working out. So I don't know, just, keep it up, enjoy it. But as long as it's not like your joints and stuff that are hurting. How do you keep the estrogen levels low eating so much soy? How do you know your tofu is pure? Okay, Nick, that's a super chat. Thanks for the question. So how do I keep my estrogen levels low eating so much soy? Well, the thing, like, there's a lot of misconceptions around this, and the phytoestrogens that are in soy are much weaker than our own like mammalian estrogens, the estrogens that we get from milk, and the hormones that are given to animals, things like that, that we then ingest, when we eat those products. And then also there's like the xenoestrogens, which are the ones that are from like plastics and stuff like this. And these are all competing to bind to the estrogen receptors. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the other thing is that phytoestrogens bind to a different receptor. So they bind to the beta receptor, whereas like our own estrogens bind to like the alpha receptor. So again, they're much weaker, right?
Yes.
They work much weaker. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of people get confused. They think that they're continuously fighting for the same receptors, but they're not actually. So anyways,
thank you. And that's why I'm happy. And but anyways, it's nothing that I do. I mean, yeah, it's nothing that I do. I don't take any like, estrogen blockers or anything like that. I don't even know, what I would do to take that. So yeah, if you look back, I did a video where I had my blood tested not too long ago and had my testosterone checked, and my testosterone levels were great. They were, well within range. If not, it was in the higher end. So, it's nothing that I do. It's just the nature of the foods. There's a lot of foods that we eat that have phytoestrogens in them, and they haven't, they just don't raise your estrogen levels like people think. And and then in turn lower testosterone. It's just not happening.
So if you're struggling with or if you're struggling with high estrogen levels, there might be something else going on. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if this is like why they're asking, because they think maybe it's to do with soy or something. There might be other things going on, like hormonally or something, for you to be struggling with that.
And as far as like pure tofu, I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean like organic or non-GMO or whatever. But we always try and buy organic soy, so it should be non-GMO if the USDA is doing their job. And yeah, so I don't worry too much about the purity of the soy, but I mean, any processed food, I guess there's a risk that there's going to be some contamination. But even in some whole foods, depends on the soil that it's grown in, there could be some You
Yeah,
know,
I think tofu is tofu. I don't think they're not putting anything like secret in there. or
no, I
anything
mean, they
like
use
that.
like, you know, different, like whatever it is, like this calcium.
Setting
Yeah.
agents or something like that. But
Anyways, when someone calls me a soy boy, I just flex, say, and proud of it. And usually they have nothing else to say. That's funny. I've never been really called like a soy boy, but I do find that you see this a lot more now on the internet. And it's like you being like, it was like a little while ago and then it went away. And now it's like, you know, now the whole soy
Yeah.
boy thing is back. And it's like, I don't know, it's really hurtful. It's really hurtful. I don't like seeing it. It's like really, it just kind of like, it's derogatory the way that people are using it, and it just like discounts like what people are.
It's upsetting because a lot of people that say that or like make fun or like, oh, it's soy boy, you know, your soy and stuff, are like probably the ones that could benefit from eating like legumes.
I didn't.
And like soy products.
Yeah, you said
like,
it. Oh, I
so it's like really healthy for you. So it's just, yeah, it's interesting.
Super chat from TM says, just want to say thanks. You inspired me to go vegan 2 years ago, and it's made such a huge positive impact in my life.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I hear, you know, I love hearing it every time, but I hear this so much. And, you know, the regret that most people make is that they didn't do it sooner. So I'm really happy to hear. So I love you too. I very recently have been eating fully raw vegan and feeling amazing, especially the energy. Have either of you eaten this way for a period of time? Thoughts on being healthy long-term?
This is from Angela.
Healthy long-term. So yeah, as far as, hello, Ollie's coming to say hello and goodbye. So great. Okay. Yeah. Fully raw vegan. You know, I know people that are currently eating this way, that are succeeding eating this way, and that are quite healthy and doing great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I also know a lot of people that have eaten this way and then have, you know, gone back to their old eating habits. And like most of the people that I find that eat this way, is a little bit extreme, right? Like, you know, and then, yeah, just no way around it. It kind of is, right? Tend to bounce back to maybe old eating habits. And I'm not saying this is going to be you, but I'm just saying you know, when I see people eat a balanced vegan, whatever balance, but a vegan diet with like a good blend of, you know, cooked foods, you know, maybe a tiny bit of processed foods to, you know, help with, you know, the caloric intake.
A sustainable diet or a sustainable way to eat.
Then I find they manage to last longer, or not last longer, like, you know, thrive for longer. And it might not, yeah, of course, it's not going to be like maybe I don't know how to put it, Chris. So what am I trying to say? It's like if it works for you and you think you can keep it up, good. A lot of people struggle though.
A lot of people raw veganism can be very restrictive because unless you're sprouting a lot of like legumes and stuff like that, and sprouting and eating enough calories, super important, which would be like coming from nuts and seeds and stuff like that. Like you're taking out a lot of foods from your diet when you're eating raw vegan. So initially a lot of people feel amazing because they're going through like a process where I don't know if you call it detoxing, but they're kind of going through a process where they feel like lighter, really clean, and then it can kind of catch up to them. That's just what we've seen. And that's just from people that might not be eating in a way that is like sustainable long term. So I think what Derek is trying to say is like, if it works for you right now and you're feeling really great, that's awesome. But if you come to a point where maybe your energy levels start to dip and stuff like that, maybe like you might need to incorporate some other foods into your diet if that starts helping, or looking at other ways of trying to succeed on raw. Yeah. Have we eaten that way? I think I've gone through a period of time where I ate very high raw, like kind of more like based on like fruit and stuff like that, and I wouldn't recommend it. I felt really great too, but then my body just I couldn't keep weight on and stuff like that, so it did not become sustainable. So I would just be cautious. Yeah, but you know, I'm glad you're feeling great. That's the main thing. Yeah, and then just make sure if you want to, you know, staying healthy long term, that you're taking like the B12, vitamin D3 and stuff, and getting enough calories. Yeah. Omegas and stuff like that. Thanks for the question. Really appreciate it. It's hard when I know you're trying to like, I don't want to say like be nice, but it's hard when you're talking about different styles of eating that you've seen people do that maybe like they don't thrive on, right? Yeah, because when I make generalizations, then people are like, yeah, but I've been doing this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, but I have a vast array or a big, you know, a pool of experience and people that I've seen, you know, come in and out of this lifestyle. And you guys remember like years ago, there was like all those people who were, you know, leaving veganism or whatever. And if you looked at the, you know, the diet, a lot of them were eating like very clean, very like raw. This quest for purity, right? So
it's not bad, but just make sure that you're listening to your body and like, eating enough and doing it properly. Let's get into something. Hey, I'm confused. Someone said, shouldn't you be discouraging a raw vegan diet? There are people that get deficient and give veganism as a whole a bad rap. Didn't you just listen to what we said though? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna tell somebody they shouldn't eat a certain way. If they're eating that way right now, they're feeling great, they're making healthy changes.
But be smart about it and be cautious.
Yeah.
Because yes, there are pitfalls. Like any kind of diet, there are pitfalls, right?
Yeah.
Like you can eat like a vegan diet, and if you're not like taking B12 and like making sure you eat enough calories and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you can have health issues, even though we know that we can like thrive on it, right? You see a lot of people just don't eat enough, and then they're like, I felt tired. It's like, well, you didn't eat enough calories and stuff like that. So yeah, any diet can have issues, and that's kind of what we're just trying to say.
Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. But call me out if you guys think I'm contradicting myself, because I love hearing it. I could be. What are our thoughts on? Okay, no, I don't want to answer that one. Crystal, this question's been asked a couple times. Crystal, what's your favorite workout and food?
Oh, well, I can't go through like a full workout, but I would say like I like pull days. Like I like working my back out. I would say probably my favorite exercise right now would be like ring chin-ups. I really like that. That's super fun. I just feel like so strong, and they just feel so good because you can like move your wrists when you're doing them rather than having just like the bar. What's my favorite food?
Whatever I made the night before and left in the fridge for after your workout.
True.
Crystal's
I don't know.
Leftover queen.
It's so hard. Obviously, Derek's like amazing air fried tofu, which he has a recipe video on. Oh my god, it's like one of my favorite things. Like, love that. I love Japanese sweet potatoes. We actually had them last night. That's why I'm thinking of it. I don't know. It's hard. I just love food in general. Derek, every time he makes something, I'm just like, this is like the best thing ever. I'm so blessed to eat it.
She's so easy to cook for because she loves like just plain food. Like if I just make her a good like straight plain sweet potato and like a small salad with like hummus or some hummus, she's like, wow, this is the best thing ever. And then when I make something better,
good. I'm just like, whoa, it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm like really easy to please.
And she never asks when I'm cooking. She's never like, oh, do I feel like what you're cooking? It's always like, she's like, I just go crazy in the kitchen and then bring it to her, and you're like, ooh, okay, good.
Usually he'll be like in the kitchen, and I'm like, can you make 2 portions?
Well, yeah.
Can you make a portion for me? Whatever you're making, I'll have it. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, Crystal's famous move is to hunger strike until I make dinner.
No.
Like, what are you having for dinner? She's like, I don't know. I'll probably just like have a little bit of fruit here and there, and then I'm starting to cook something. And she's like, hey, what are you making? Anyways,
it's because you're such a good cook.
So. All right, let's go. Same, Crystal. My favorite foods are probably sambar and basmati rice along with honey mangoes.
What's sambar, though? I have never heard of that before.
Yeah, I don't know either. But yeah, mangoes. We got a couple of yellow ones over there. I don't know if you can see them. No, you can't. But man, they're waiting for me. What's your favorite junk vegan food?
Well, we should answer for each other. First of all, because I think we're gonna be like, oh, popcorn or whatever, but I'm like, no, this guy, he loves candy. He loves vegan candy.
You're gonna put me on the bus like that. You're gonna throw me
sour, like sour vegan candy that's like kind of chewy.
When I was in high school, I had a knack for candy. Yeah, I had no idea how I still have my teeth, but
yeah, I'd
be the guy who always had like Sour Patch Kids or Skittles in my pocket. And then I was like such a connoisseur. I like my candy to be like extra chewy. So I would like open it and then like leave it under my bed. And then I'd have like the oldest, newer. And then when it was like finally at the end of the line, it was like, yeah, it's ready to eat. But yeah, so occasionally like we go to Winners and stuff now. And sometimes they'll have like, well, not now, we've always gone to Winners. That's like a kind of like a,
like
TJ Maxx in the States.
It's very
they
similar.
sell like discounted like brand name clothing kind of thing, but they also have like lots of different like treats there that you wouldn't usually find. And sometimes and then sometimes they have vegan candy that's like naturally colored and flavored. So I like trick myself into thinking it's like kind of healthy. But I do try and stay away from the artificial colorings like the tartrazine and the red dye and that sort of stuff. And I'm not eating candy all the time.
No, of course. It's just like a junk food. It's just
So your favorite food then?
My favorite
junk food. Let me think. Probably. Well, yeah, the popcorn, the Boom Chicka Pop is like one.
I
But
have.
it's not
It's like a yeah. I definitely. Like
yeah,
that.
It's
so good.
I don't know. I mean, you like all the you like all the things, but you pretend not to. I'll be in the store. I'll be like, "Ooh, I could really deal with some like vegan Ben and Jerry's," and then you're like, "No, we don't need that. No, no."
Well,
and
we
then
don't
later
need
on,
that.
and then later on,
and then yeah, of course I'll have some if you buy it.
All right, moving on.
I don't know what my favorite thing would be. I don't know.
Someone was like, you were aging Sour Patch Kids. That's next level.
Yeah, sometimes he'll leave like a bag of candy open and he's like, it's not ready yet. And I'm like, what? No, and he's like, it's not ready.
I don't do that anymore. You don't know anything.
Oh, this is interesting.
What? Dr. Greger says only fat makes you fat. It's kind of like that fat you eat is the fat you wear that Dr. McDougall says, but not carbs. That's why you should eat Sour Patch Kids. No, just kidding. So don't eat those.
Is that your experience? No,
but the thing is,
I hate this way of thinking.
Yeah,
by the way. Like this is like how you fearmonger food.
Yeah, it's not great because people don't think avocados.
Balance is
like
so important.
Hemp seeds, but we should be eating these things. So, but it's important to remember that fat is a lot more calorie dense than carbs and protein. You know, there's like 4 calories per gram of carbs and protein, and then 9 calories per gram of fat. So it's easier to overeat. But like, you know, it's just your calorie balance at the end of the day. Yeah, sure. There's like small, you know, idiosyncrasies around that, details or whatever you want to say. But
fat's really important. It helps you absorb like
vitamins
and stuff like that. I feel like I definitely feel better when I have like eating now when I'm having like more fat rather than like years ago when I was eating very high carb. I definitely feel better now. For sure. But you know that everyone's different. Everyone is different.
I think someone's here saying, well, they're not talking about fat from flax, chia, or avocado. But when the average person hears a statement like that,
that's what they think.
You know, they just think, yeah. And it's kind of it's just such a polarizing thing too, because it's like, you know, now people are like, there's diets that are like extremely high fat, you know, only fat. So it's just like kind of, I don't know. I think we need more balance.
Yeah.
But
the vegan metalhead, thank you again for the super chat, says sambar is spicy South Indian lentil soup. That sounds like that would be my favorite thing to eat too. That sounds so good.
Okay, yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, someone here saturated fats are no purpose other than building fat. It's like we don't need to be consuming saturated fats and cholesterol, although it's impossible to avoid because there's saturated fat and, you know, even tahini and peanuts and stuff like that. Eat fruits whenever you crave sweet, like juicy fruits. Yeah, exactly. More fruit. Crystal, are you indigenous? I feel like this might have been asked before, but I'm curious because you're definitely one of my knowledge keepers in terms of moon cycles, natural medicines, and health. Wow.
I'm not indigenous. I have like my background is like I have a Scottish, English, kind of like just like European, and then I believe French Canadian. I did an ancestry test like a few years ago just to figure it out because it's hard to like look back in the family, and there's some like missing history in my family, so I wanted to figure it out, and that's kind of what it bounced back. And so I have a lot of family that came from like out east in Canada, so that's probably where I get like the dark kind of hair and everything.
Yeah, you have such a beautiful what's the word, like where you can't tell, like, what
it's very ambiguous.
Yeah, ambiguous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's anyways. So I saw a couple cool questions here. I wanted to answer. I was reading the word eat. So someone here said, "Oh, which is better, soy protein or pea protein? Please tell me." So you want to try and avoid soy protein isolate. This is not what we want to be consuming. So pea protein would be better. Soy protein isolate can jack up your IGF-1, insulin growth factor.
If you're having like
you're having lots of it, and you know that's it can promote like cell cancer growth and stuff like that. So I would try to avoid it. But it should be said that soy protein isolate and, you know, soy that comes like the protein that comes from soy when you're eating like tofu and tempeh and stuff is not the same. So yeah, I would say pea protein. And then I saw another question here. Hello, Garden is your garden on the way from France.
Oh.
So this year is a kind of a funny year because this house that we're living in is a rental, and it's actually up for sale, or it's going to be soon. So we don't know what we're gonna be doing or where we're gonna be living in a few months. So unfortunately, I'm having to just kind of hold off on the garden because, as you guys know, it's like, it's kind of a big, not a huge expense, but I don't have a bunch of seed starters and things happening yet, so I'd have to go and buy all the things, and then if we have to move in 2 or 3 months when the house sells, well then I put all that effort into the garden for somebody else, which actually is kind of a nice idea, but who knows if they'd even
we
utilize
don't even
it.
know if there would even be people living here.
Yeah, they might tear the house down. Who knows?
We have no idea what's gonna happen.
And we're like, so yeah, if anyone on Vancouver Island, somewhere for us to stay, because the housing market, not only on Vancouver Island but in Canada, is so bad. There are so few homes for people that need them. Like, there's so many more people than homes. There's a mad housing shortage, and it's like really scary. So hopefully we don't have to leave this place. But if we do, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
It'll all work out.
But yeah, that's why. But I am going to be planting some potatoes because we have some that are sprouting in our little potato bin thing, and I just figured, they're talking food shortages. I mean, this is no secret. So why, may as well just throw a couple of those on the ground rather than throwing them in the compost.
And then that way, if we have to leave, it's just leaves, and it's not like a full blown garden, because our garden can get kind of crazy. And then
if everything goes to
if everything goes to crap, taking the potatoes,
and then we have at least 20 potatoes to eat, so we'll be good.
Boston Baked Beans, thank you for the super chat. Says, love the live chats. Keep up the great content. My arms are not on the table right now.
Well, just the shaking.
And Sarah asks,
did
you go vegan for animals or health? I'm eating more plants because my cholesterol went up 40 points, but I'm still trying to figure out how I want to eat. Cool. So
you make
good idea for changing it up.
Yeah, really good.
Help cholesterol.
The best, for helping to lower cholesterol. Make sure you just eat whole foods. Don't eat a lot of the vegan junk food and stuff like that, because the refined carbohydrates and the the processed foods with the high fats, stuff like that, are not going to be helpful for that. So do you want to go first, Crystal? Did you go vegan for the animals or for health?
It was for the animals. When I started learning about animal agriculture, slaughterhouses, and that kind of thing, it just didn't sit well with me. I was like, what? I was so naive. I grew up in a small town, so naive to how animals are raised for food. Had no idea. So that was the original reason why I was like, I don't want to eat meat anymore.
You know what though? You say you were naive. It's not like that information's out there. It's illegal to film what happens in slaughterhouses. It's illegal to film there. People get put in jail for it.
This was before the internet was around. Obviously, I'm not that old, but this was before it was really you would go online and research all this stuff. This was 12 or 13 years ago, and I remember just reading a book that had brought these topics up, and I was like, what? I had no idea. And then I didn't really even know you could live healthily without them either, right? So originally started for animals, and then obviously wanted to learn more about the health benefits and that kind of thing too, and make sure I could do it sustainably and healthily and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was basically my experience as well.
Same.
Yeah, started to realize that the way that the animals are treated is not good, so started to eat more grass-fed meats and free-range eggs. And it was getting expensive, and the less that I was actually starting to feel better. So I just kept on, including more and more plants. And then once I started to see some examples of people who were, athletic and living healthfully and actually enjoying it and eating delicious foods, I realized I gotta just make the jump and make this my lifestyle. And it was years ago, and actually a lot of the people were fruitarian, high raw. It was Dan the man with the master plan McDonald. He was juicing outside of his his camper at the time. Shortly after that, I'm not going to mention any other names. But yeah,
I don't know what else you want to.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I was just looking.
So. Oh, okay. Someone says, we're eating non-fortified nutritional flakes to avoid the synthetic B12 in fortified flakes. So what level or amount of B12 should we be getting per day, week, do you think, drops or capsules? So it's, okay. I don't think that Nutritional Yeast is a great source of B12 anyways. They often do fortify it, but it's like you just don't know how much is in there, and you don't know how
Yeah.
much you're getting. So
But they're eating
it's-
non-fortified.
Yeah, I
So
know,
that's
but I
good.
just wanted to say this for the
Yes.
onlookers because they would be like, oh well, then I'm not going to supplement. I'm just going to have 4
Yeah,
or 5
don't
pills, right?
yeah, don't rely on nutrition.
So, and what was the new? Was it the Dr. Greger's new thing? Is it 2,500 micrograms per week? I believe.
Yes, in
dosing.
like divided dosing. Or I think you can take one large dose, but it would probably be better to do divided dosing. And I would say drops. Like maybe sublingual or like maybe sublingual tablets, just to
feel
make
like-
sure that you're like absorbing it within your mouth, so you're not like taking capsules and they're not being absorbed properly.
If somebody has,
Stomach?
yes, I believe it's 2,500 micrograms per week. If somebody knows Dr. Greger's, if that's his updated one, I can't remember, but it's definitely a safe number. If anything, that's higher because I think he might have like lowered it. And I'm referring to him because he has the team to check out the, you know, the big, the body of evidence, right? So anyways, so yeah, someone says for me, I get my blood work done every 6 months and adjust my B12 dosage accordingly. That is the most ultimate way to do it. How much B12 is in unwashed kale? Well,
you don't
depends
know.
how dirty it is.
Yeah.
Somebody up here asks, vegan for the animals, first and foremost. That's not a question.
Like, I'm just reading.
Oh, someone asked, hi, sorry if this has been asked. It definitely has been, but we don't mind answering. Is how long have you been vegan for? So we both been vegan for about the same time. I would say at least probably 12 years now for me.
Yeah.
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 Things have changed a lot in those times. Like, holy, when I started, it was like really easy to not eat all this like processed food. And now it's like everywhere on the shelves.
It was hard to find like plant milk. I mean, it was like available, but it wasn't like you just walked into like the fridge section and there was just like so many. I remember being like looking at like the soy milk and being like, I don't know if that's like legit or not. Like it like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then most of the plant milks were in cartons and they were so small. I remember drinking I used to drink so much almond breeze because it was like really the only kind
almond
of
breeze.
milk.
That
and
was
then
the one.
They made a chocolate version, which was actually just so good. And it's like, yeah, and there was like no types of vegan yogurts or anything. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm surprised you didn't sniff this question out. This is like your favorite thing. What brand of sunscreens do you guys use? Do you prefer chemical or mineral sunscreens? So yeah, Crystal's a big sunscreen fan. Myself, I don't wear a lot of sunscreen unless I find I'm going to be in the sun for, you know, a prolonged period of time, and the risk of like me burning is greater than, you know, than not wearing it, I guess. So yeah, I usually just try to, you know.
Yeah, you're strategic. He'll put it like in like right here and right here, but not like on your full body.
Not where it doesn't burn.
You want to get some.
Yeah, I usually will put it where I burn because, you know, we have to remember all the stuff that we put on our skin. A lot of it gets absorbed into our bodies. So yeah, we definitely avoid the chemical sunscreens around our house. We prefer the mineral ones. Crystal, you know a bit more about it. Did you want to get one to show if you have a favorite or two, or no? Just tell them.
Well, it depends if you're looking to put it on your body or your face, because there's like obviously, it's. I find that like the ones you put on your body are going to be a little bit thicker than ones on your face. I don't necessarily like avoid chemical sunscreens in like the way that like I don't buy them. I definitely have tried some before. They're really nice because they don't necessarily leave like a white cast and stuff like that, but you do have to be conscious of like the filters that they're using. The mineral sunscreens, like,
what do you mean the filters
like,
that they're using?
Just like the chemical filters, because like a physical filter would be like zinc oxide. There's lots of products that have zinc that has like tints to it, which is really easy to put on your face. And then the chemical ones would be like more of a chemical filter. So your body absorbs that rather than like it just sits on your face and like, yeah.
So they put the color in the zinc ones because then it doesn't.
So it doesn't like leave a white cast and stuff like that. And so it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. Like there's like that company called Think.
That's the one. Yeah.
That makes like body ones. Supergoop is a popular brand that you can get at like Sephora and stuff, and they make really like nicer like facial ones, and they have zinc, and they also have chemical ones. I think Biossance, they also have like a zinc one that's like a little bit more elegant.
Just be mindful of the chemical ones because just this year alone, I don't know if you guys have seen the reports, but it seems like, you know, there's been a whole handful of them that they've come out that have they found have had like, you know, cancer causing chemicals in them.
Yeah, so a lot of the druggstoore ones. I can't remember what that report was called, but I looked it up and I was like, ooh, that's a bit sketchy. It's not all of them out there, and some of them, most of them are like the chemical ones. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for.
Sweet. I'm going to move on to a kettlebell question. Actually, I don't know why, because I don't really have an answer for this. But the question is, what do you think of kettlebell workouts as only strength workout, muscle and conditioning in one? Yeah, I think yeah, if you're gonna if you're looking to get a quick, workout in, and this is something that you like to do, I think it's great. I've never been a kettlebell guy. Like, I've tried before, and we have a kettlebell, and I just don't use it that much. And at the gym, whenever I try, I'm sort of like, I could like do it with a barbell without the kettlebell. But I just don't know what I'm doing with it, really.
It's like a long-winded answer.
Yeah,
like, I have no idea.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I find sometimes when you hold them, when you have to have the weight here, it can like really. I find that it can like it doesn't feel very comfortable on my wrist. How you hold them, and you're doing like presses and stuff like that. So dumbbells are more comfortable.
And the way, and I know you don't have to with kettlebells, but I always try and take as much of the momentum out of things as I can, just with the the style of workout that I like to do. I do a lot of explosive stuff as far as like cycling, and I do some sprinting and jumping and things like that. Outside of that, and I do explosive, push-ups and stuff. But most of the time, when I, focusing on my workout as an entirety, I try to like do slower and more controlled movements. But that's not to say that, kettlebell is bad. I think it's
if you're going to work out with a kettlebell and that's your thing and you love it, all the power to you, because you just have to find an exercise or a workout or a piece of equipment that you love, and then like just use that. And there's so many kettlebell workouts online, and they're like really hard. It's a great piece of equipment for sure. Just because it might not be something that we incorporate or use a lot doesn't mean that it's not good.
Someone sent a super chat, and it was just a $5 donation. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. Didn't get a chance to say their name at the time, and I forget it now, but thank you. Someone asks here if I take an omega-3 supplement. I do. Sometimes I do. And there's the one from Vivo Life, O3, that I take, and I will take it, but I don't take it all the time. Not as consistently as I would take like vitamin D3 in the winter. Or B12. I'm actually not that consistent with that either. I should be better. But so yeah, I do take it. But I do still make sure that I get in lots of, the ALA from flax, hemp, chia, from walnuts as well. And I'm trying to keep my omega-6 intake relatively low.
I just wanted to comment on the sunscreen.
Oh,
the person said that they've been using ThinkSport
facial,
or someone, facial sun. So that's great. That's what I meant by Think. I meant ThinkSport. So they make a mineral body one as well. That's like really thick. It's really good. Baby Bum, I think it's called. And it's like the off branch of Sun Bum. They make a really good zinc based SPF that's like really sensitive because it's actually like meant for babies. So sometimes like looking at like stuff meant for babies is really nice because it'll be like a very high protection zinc-based sunscreen, but usually very good for like sensitive skin, because sometimes some sunscreens can not be the best for sensitive skin. So there's a bunch of different brands.
I should come out with like someone should, maybe me, come up with like a real like man or like aggressive focus like sport sunscreen. I'm sure it's out there.
There's a lot of
but a natural
sunscreen.
But like a natural one, and it's like all black, and it's not for babies.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing no baby stuff.
Yeah, ThinkSport and Sun Bum or Baby Bum, I'm pretty sure those are both cruelty free.
Favorite thing to grow in our garden? I don't know. I was gonna say kale, but then I started thinking of those little cabbage moths that eat it.
And then you hate them so much.
It made me so angry. So it's not kale.
I liked how we grew lemon cucumber.
Yeah,
and
that
they
was
were
good.
so good, and they always worked out pretty well.
Yeah, lemon cucumber, the
and
little
they're
round,
they grow in like little like balls,
size
like
of a tennis ball, and
Delicious.
they're just like so fresh and nice. Really good. And then they would just like pop up all summer.
What's the best way to wash off sunscreen? Love it. Love these. I love like skincare and stuff. So
I'm just gonna use the washroom really quickly.
I'm just gonna take over this chat. The best way to probably wash off sunscreen, especially on your face, would be doing like a double cleansing method. And that's when you would use like an oil-based cleanser and do that. And then you would use like more of a, I guess, water or like a, for lack of a better term, soapy based cleanser. Because then that would like take off like the oil, but then the oil can help take off sunscreen. So that's what I have found can be really helpful. There are some cleansers out there that can like work and you just have to use the one. I use Acure, ACURE, is a brand that I really like, and they have a brightening facial cleanser, and it's like a gel cleanser, and I swear that it takes everything off. I use that on my face, not so much my body. But for body, you could use I guess you can kind of do the same thing if it's like really stuck on there. But like maybe like soap or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. What have I done in the past to take the sunscreen off my body? Yeah, I think I've just used like soap and stuff. Cause like
Huh.
facial cleansers and stuff, like they don't make them big enough to like use them on your body, and they're so expensive. Yeah, a gentle skin cleanser and a small cotton cloth would probably work as well. Yeah,
Sweet.
kind of just depends on like how long it's been on there and like if it's like really on there, if you've been sweating, that kind of stuff.
What? Someone says do several episodes on building a sauna near your trampoline.
A sauna building be such a flex.
Yeah.
I would want it to be inside personally.
Yeah.
I don't want a sauna to be
well,
outside.
whatever, as long as it's hot in there. But yeah, like I said, we might have to move. Derek didn't wash his hands. You don't know.
Someone asked, Cody said, thoughts on vegan-friendly retinol? There's a lot of vegan-friendly options out there. Bakchuli, I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's like a plant-based version of like a retinol. Does it work as well? I'm not entirely sure. But there's a lot of plant-based things. I'm not sure if retinol in skincare is derived from animal sources, because I feel like I've bought in vegan and cruelty-free retinol stuff before. Like the Ordinary brand makes like a retinol, and it's vegan and cruelty-free. So, but I have to look into that. Actually, I never even thought of that.
Okay.
But there's a lot of brands. Like there's a lot of brands that offer like vegan, cruelty-free retinols. Of course, the best type would be to get like the prescription kind. That would probably work the best.
Okay. I saw something up here about someone said, Derek, would you ever compete? Is this in like bodybuilding? No, I don't think I ever would. I feel like no, I'm not. No, like because I'm not big enough. Like the guys that are, even in the fully natural shows, like I don't know if they've always been natural their whole life. I don't know what the requirements are there, but they're huge. Like and I'm also I don't know if I would be able to, like, I could get lean enough, but I don't know, man. I'm so consistent, like just being like,
you don't want to just be like bouncing.
Yeah, but
and different diets and stuff like that. Or
yeah,
different, like that kind of thing.
So much work. I think like I love seeing it though. I love watching, when people are at the peak of their physique. It's not necessarily the healthiest they've ever been, but it's always cool to see. Someone else mentioned Brian Turner's video. They're like, you got to see it today after you watch this. It's sick. So I don't know.
Oh, I wonder what
I don't know.
is.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'll go watch it. He's my good buddy. Of course I'll watch it. Yeah, I saw he said he spent 7 hours editing. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping to have a video up for this weekend, guys, but yeah, what I was working on, I was doing a recipe and I wasn't too happy with it and just wasn't ready, and I didn't want to like come up with put a subpar video recipe out just to have something. So that's why, and then I always like this time because then we get to do a live, so it works out really well. So man, people love the skincare talk. It's so funny.
I love talking about skincare.
All bodybuilders use PEDs. Okay, well, there you go.
What are my thoughts on?
I'm not a bodybuilder then, because I don't.
On hyaluronic acid, I think it's good. I think it depends on where you live and stuff, because I've heard that sometimes it can take moisture out of your face rather than like add moisture on. A lot of times too, you want to like put it on your face and then have a moisturizer over top rather than just put it on your face alone. So it's like, and then also make your face damp before you put it on. So actually there's like water. There's different weights to hyaluronic acid. So it's really good to get a hyaluronic acid serum that has at least different weights, which just means like the molecule weights to work really well. I wouldn't use it as just a facial moisturizer. You could add it to your face moisturizer, or again, like put it on like your damp face, like after you come out of the shower, and then put a moisturizer on, but I wouldn't use it alone just because you want to like seal it in. I've used some hyaluronic acid before. I don't notice a huge difference, but I think it just depends on like the brand and like the weights or the weights of the molecules and stuff like that.
Cool. As that other person that asked if I was ever going to compete or whatever said, even just races. So maybe they were talking about bodybuilding. They were like, you're not good enough.
Oh, like races? That's so funny. You're like, I don't know bodybuilding. He's like, dude, I meant like a marathon.
Maybe in the future. I love running, but I'm just not that fast. I never have been. Like I've always been an okay runner, but I'm just like not very fast. So not like I'd be winning any races.
Oh, someone said, show the recipe on live. That would be kind of fun if we did like a live
I thought about that.
cooking recipe. It'd be kind of fun. Like, hey, I'm making lunch. Like, let's do a live, and you're like answering questions, and then just like real time cooking. That'd be really fun. Although you make like 10 or 20 minute meals, so it'd be like, a little bit of cooking and then like most of the live, right? Like you're not like spending an hour in the kitchen. So
No,
it'd be,
like
a short live.
like we eat it after like a mukbang or whatever they used to call it.
Oh yeah.
Man, we get a lot of questions about marriage consistently. Yeah, we do plan on getting married one day. It's not we're committed to each other. We love each other. And we don't feel like that's been a barrier for us to, to solidify our love or relate. I shouldn't speak for you, but at least for me, but we do talk about this. So I know how you're feeling.
You know how I feel.
Yeah. So it's, we understand for some people, it's really, it's a big, important like milestone. It's something that, they have to do in order to move forward with other things. But for us, it hasn't really felt like that. And we're just, we're happy right now with how things are, but we're not opposed to it for sure. And definitely we'll get a ring on that finger one day.
Ooh, very excited.
Don't hold your breath.
What's your process for developing a new recipe for the channel?
So, yeah, okay. So it's usually like what I've just been cooking, and then I just like make it better. Like if, something that I've been consistently sort of making, and then I'll just figure out a way to kind of, like make it a little bit more special and make it, a bit more concise.
And then copy the recipe and stuff down.
And then write the recipe down. Yeah. And then I usually will test it once or twice. And
so we're not just watching the video, or we're not just watching like ourselves crash and burn when we're filming. We're like, how many cups is this? And like,
yeah,
so much easier if we like test it before.
Yeah.
Are you going to do more workout videos? I try to tell them.
Yo, people.
I try to tell them.
People love looking into this. Like it's like someone says, look at the look on her eyes while he explains marriage. Basically,
I was looking at like the comments and the messages. I wasn't trying to just be like.
I think we're pretty open, and I don't know.
Yeah, like it's.
Crystal's pretty good at hints, and if it was time, or if she was like ready to find someone else, I'd know. Trust me.
No, it's not a big deal. It's all good. John says, "Thanks, good people."
Oh, thanks, John Peters. Appreciate that.
But yeah, how about more workout videos? I think now that it's gonna be warmer out, it'll be fun to maybe do some like outdoor kind of stuff. But
yeah, yep,
got to get this guy wanting to do it. It's just hard because when Derek's done workout videos in the past, so many people ask for them, but they don't necessarily that doesn't necessarily translate into like how many people watch the video. So, there are a lot of like effort, so that's kind of a thing. But it's not that we tailor all the videos to like what's going to get the most views.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make sure that you are like helping, enough people to make it worth it, I guess.
Like
if that makes sense.
The thing with my channel is like most people will watch, like a lot of people will watch a recipe, because most people who are interested in like being, fit, they also have to eat. But then people that are interested in like eating aren't always going to want to do the fitness stuff. So, and I thought about like maybe having another channel, but I struggle enough just like trying to keep all my, different social media, platforms and avenues or whatever in line. So, but I definitely would like to do more because I think I have some good tips, and I see how some other people explain things. I don't think it's always great, but there's some people that are out there that are just do such amazing work that I'm like, I can never do anything as great as this. Like, like Daniel from, what is it? Calisthenics FAQs or fitness FAQs. Daniel from Fitness FAQs. Like he's incredible and so like shredded, and I'm pretty sure he's natural as well and great with calisthenics, and he knows all the movements. He's like, this is like, the pronate and this and that, and he can talk about all the body parts. I don't know that kind of stuff. So I'm always like, just do this variation. So, okay, do you guys camp? Do you do, what kind of food do you eat out on the wild? Well, no, we're not huge campers. But I do have a video on what we eat on a road trip. It's a little while back, but it's just like, peanut butter sandwiches. We'll buy some like canned vegan chili, and then like on top of like a little, stove, put that in a pan with like, just some veggies that we,
Yeah.
cut up from like a store. Really not that much different than how we eat here at home, really.
Yeah, we're not doing like epic,
lots of
like week-long camping trips out in the wild or anything
or like
that.
Gaz Oakley where you're like get some like some mushrooms cut off a tree and then like pan fry them in this like
We're not
the open
those people.
fire.
I'm not that person. I feel like if I was, we would camp a lot more, but I'm not super into it.
Yeah. Someone said they saw a girl boxing at the gym today. So badass. Yeah.
Love it.
So that's something I've been into lately. I have a heavy bag in the backyard. I got it last year, but I didn't use it too much, but this year I've been into it and I have so much fun. Just put on some music, and you just gotta like punch to kind of like the beat, and then if you know like what's coming up next in the song, you can kind of like plan like how you're gonna like, I don't know, punch to the music. It's really fun. And I get so sweaty. So yeah.
Someone, Isadora, said, these are really personal questions. How do you deal with these kind of questions without feeling like your privacy is being invaded?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like these are like super personal questions. I feel like we're just talking to friends.
Yeah.
I didn't know friends ask like this kind of stuff. I mean, people ask about the marriage and the kid thing all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, it is actually really personal, but I don't find it like offensive if people ask because we're really like strong in like how we feel, so it's not like, oh, why would you ask that? Or if I was like really wanting to get married and then like someone asked and I'm like, why haven't you proposed? Like I'm not angry or anything. Like we have talked about these things.
Mm-hmm.
We're both really open with each other, and so telling you guys that like I don't find like that is an invasion of privacy because we know what page we're both on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you don't know what page both on, or people aren't that open with communication, when like an outsider asks that, it does feel like an invasion of privacy or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're not going to answer like super private questions. But y'all are really nice and kind, and you don't ask super like invasively crazy questions. But I know what you mean. It can feel, like people know your lives better than you and stuff like that sometimes. But
yeah,
that's just like.
So yeah, a few people said they like follow along workout videos. So I could definitely think about doing that in the summer. I mean, it would be such easy content for me to do. Like, but I don't know. I almost feel like it would be like not even a good enough video if it was just like film me working out and I kind of talk through it.
That's how so many people like do it.
I know.
And so many people started YouTube by
I guess
like, filming stuff.
But I just think about it's like I don't know. I just think of how long it takes me to like film in full day of eating and do all that. And then I'm like, how can I just like make a video? It's like a 20-minute workout or 10-minute workout. But I guess I could. 2 a.m. in India. Get to bed, man. I hope you guys make full time. You guys make full time. I don't know what you mean by that. So someone said great answer to something. It must have been something you answered. It was to the personal questions. And I think that's great. Yeah, we do have a very open relationship. And you know what? I learned. No, not open like that.
I was going to be like, don't.
Not you. Anyways, me, yes. No, I'm just kidding.
People can interpret that many ways.
But
open communication.
Yeah, communication-wise. And that communication is so important in a relationship. Yeah. And I learned this years ago when I was dating a girl, and the family always asked whenever like people were going to do things, they always asked, how does it make you feel, or how would it make you feel if I did this? Like, oh, my friends are going out tonight to the bar. Like, how would that make you feel if I went? And rather than being like, I'm going, or am I allowed to go? It's sort of like, how does that make the other person feel? Then it opens up dialogue, and she'd be like, well, kind of makes me feel like, like you don't want to hang out with me tonight. And it's like, well, no, then you can answer that question. Or it kind of makes me feel like maybe there's going to be like girls there and you're going to talk to them. I'll be jealous. And that's like, well, then you can kind of deal with that. It's always good to kind of, to be really clear. And I often ask you, like, do you mind if I go, whatever? And I'm not really asking you for permission. It's more sort of like, just like respecting that, we have this sort of camaraderie and we always work as a team. And it's like, I'm going to be doing something else. So you're going to be on your own.
Yeah.
And then, as far as like marriage and stuff like that, we're just like, we're really clear and with each other and try not to hide anything and play little games and score keep and all that sort of stuff. Right. It's been amazing, but I would not be here if I didn't have all the relationships that I had in the past that maybe didn't work out or that were challenging or whatever. So I'm just so happy to be in the position that I'm in. And I'm like, so thankful that we have like the relationship that we have. It's like so wonderful. Like, I'm going to get all teary-eyed.
Crazy.
Anyways, where are the cats? Somebody asked. Polly's sleeping up there.
And then Ollie might be probably in like we have like an enclosed. Oh, hello. No, she's not there.
Yeah.
We have like an enclosed kind of outdoor area. If that
Carport.
doesn't really make any sense, but she kind of likes to be out there. We call her our feral kitty. She likes to just like do her own thing and like hunt bugs and stuff, but she's not like outside. So we have like the door kind of open. She can come in and out, and she like loves it. Gives her a little bit of, you know, a little
Nice.
bit of fun during the day. But yeah,
So-
Polly's just sleeping.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna be hungry after we end this live because like it's like lunchtime.
So someone asked.
How do,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, someone asked, how do you stay motivated, especially we're like working out and stuff like that?
Yeah, man, it's like there's all these like terms, you know, of like motivation, willpower, all this, and like it really just comes down to like doing it, like to being consistent.
It's
right?
a muscle.
Yeah,
it's a muscle that you have to like flex and grow.
Yeah, willpower.
Motivation.
That's why I always think of like willpower is like a muscle. It's something that you have to consistently work on in order to make it stronger, right? So, man, yeah, having goals and stuff is really important, you know. What do you think, Crystal? Like,
I just feel really like privileged and blessed to have like my health and stuff like that, and like, you know, my body and being able to like do things. And I feel so good when I'm like working out and exercising, even on days when I'm like might not feel into it. Of course, there's always like there's rest days and stuff like that. Of course, like you have to listen to your body. But I just feel like really lucky because there has been like times in my life when I haven't really felt motivated. And so right now I'm like, oh, I feel so motivated. And I really like going and like working out, you know, going to the gym or a kickboxing studio or like yoga or whatever. And then you see people and it's like community, and that's really motivating too. Even if you just go and you're like, you know, if you go to the gym and you're like on the treadmill for 10 or 20 minutes, you're like, oh, look, like I see that person I see all the time, and you say hi. So like the community aspect I find is also really motivating. Not so much in the like I'm competing with people to like work out hardest. It's like, no, I'm gonna go and say like hi and like see those people. That's motivating.
Yeah.
And just feeling good is motivating, I think.
For me, it's easier to be consistent than it is to start and stop again. You know? And that's for most people. Like it's, you know how it is. And as soon as you know, it's like, hey, I haven't gone to the gym for a few weeks, but I got to go back. But I got to make the workout so big when I get back because I got to make up for lost time or whatever. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, you know, and just like, just like a little bit every day and just like work it into your lifestyle.
And create a routine around it. That helps with motivation. Is like just having a routine really helps as well. Because if it's in your routine, then it's like, it's almost like you just are motivated to go because you're like, well, I'm going to go. It's like the thing I do to make me feel better. And it can also help with like mental health and stuff like that, which is a big motivator as well. For me, anyways.
Your opinion on Fadagoya aggressive boosting testosterone?
I thought that was a spelling mistake.
No, I have a feeling like I feel like that's probably something. I'm gonna look it up because it's probably something like different in English. Like it might be from a different country or something. I don't know about it, so I'm sorry, Rob, but I'm gonna Google it really quickly and see what we can find here.
We'll see. Oh, sorry, you gotta here. Do you want to spell it?
Yeah, I know. Like I can remember that.
Oh, you didn't.
I know I didn't.
OG.
Oh, here we go.
Interesting. We don't know what that is.
Oh, Tomcat Alley. Oh, that stuff. No, I don't know too much about it. Generally, these things, like it's the same with like there's like that velvet bean or whatever. There's like tribulus, which I've taken that in the past, and it seems to like boost your sort of like vigor, libido for like a short little while, and then things seem to start to like balance like back out. And that's what I found with most of these. I don't know if it's the same for this. And generally the amount that it like raises your testosterone is like not enough that it's going to be like a steroid or something like that. Like if you look at people's like the range of like healthy testosterone, it's huge. Yeah. So if you're here and then it brings you up to here, it's, you know, you got to be like, boom, like up to there. And you're not going to do that without, you know, artificial help kind of thing. Right. But I find, maca, you know, this probably does as well. And I found it with tribulus. It will improve your sexual desire for a short while, like, you know, and it probably is going to be different for everyone and how much you take and the quality of the supplements. And then, of course, that comes a bit of vigor and a bit of strength and stuff like that. But I did find that as I continued to take it, like the effects kind of, you know, a bit of a bell curve. It was kind of come and go.
Are
So
you more of a lone wolf?
or
do you have
friends.
lots of friends?
So I'm definitely like, I love having lots of people that I know, but I definitely have a very small circle of close friends, I would say. Yeah, it's, because the way that I picture life is like I have these bubbles and they're constantly deflating. It's a very panicked way to live. But there's bubbles, and it's like, we got my relationship with, like, we got mom over here, and mom's bubbles, go small. We got Crystal over here, bubble goes small. Simnett Nutrition, bubbles constantly going smaller. My athletics, my mental health, my this and that. And then
Gotta
you
make
always,
them bigger,
you always got to
gotta-
pump these things up, right? And it's like, if I have this huge group of friends and all these relationships I have to keep up with, well, man, it's a lot of pumping. So so I keep it small. No, but I'm serious, right?
No,
and I
no.
don't, and I hate like the loose ends, and how it blocks my throat chakra when I have
Yeah.
when I haven't got back to somebody or whatever, right? So that's why. And also throughout my life, I have met people, and I thought they were like really great and wonderful people, and they've showed me a certain side of them. And then I find out that they're definitely quite a different person. And this has happened quite a bit lately. So I'm a little bit cautious to, completely let people into my life.
But I would say like Derek's like really friendly though. Like if you ever see him in a grocery store, or like he's like the chattiest person at the gym. If you come, if you go to the gym and you're like, I've never been to this gym, he's gonna be the first one. If Derek's there, he'll be like, hey, how are you? Like, oh, you new here? Like, oh, you looking for like the worker, like who's like supposed to help you? Like, that's Derek. He's super friendly and super chatty. I just wanted to say this because I feel like with lone wolves, a lot of people get this misconception that like you're really standoffish and like, oh, I don't, I don't need you as my friend and stuff like that. No, Derek's like the opposite.
Well, thank you.
And like, yeah, you keep your circle tight of like good people, but there are those good people like that are your friends, and then you have like the bigger circle that are like, kind of like you're friendly with and stuff like that. But you're like the friendliest person you've ever meet. There will be.
I just love to I love knowing that you can influence someone's day.
Yeah.
Just by being nice to them. Like, isn't that incredible? Like, it takes no effort, like very little effort, and it's free. And you can turn someone's day around. So that's why I don't try to do that with everybody, but if they're open to it, if someone's looking like shy at the gym, or like they might not know, or if someone's looking at like a vegan product, they're kind of like looking sideways at the at some sort of like strange whatever food, I'll be like, I'll just be like, hey, have you ever tried that before? Just so whatever. I don't know. I always just try to like interact with people like that.
Honestly, it's one of the most, I feel like the most special qualities about you, because it's such a special quality. Not a lot of people are like that. You're very like outgoing, very kind, but really friendly.
Well, thank you.
It's such a sweet quality.
I think it was burned into me through through my several years of working in retail when I was younger.
Just like the overly friendly. No, you're not. But
Hi, how are you?
You're not fake.
Can I help you with anything today?
You're just so nice. No, you're just like, just so nice and like friendly and fun to be around.
Derek seems like a happy-go-lucky guy. Yeah, for the most part. I get stressed out, mostly with YouTube and the channel and stuff like that. But it's my work, and I take it very seriously. But thank you for that. I am pretty happy-go-lucky. So anyways, there's a bright red. That's cool, hey? Bright red hummingbird. Yeah, all the different colored hummingbirds are just starting to come back for the summer, I guess. We get the green ones that are here all year round. But anyways, so it says getting sun in the morning increases natural energy, where exercising is best while evening. Your body releases melatonin naturally where you need it for sleep.
I don't know. I think it just depends on like your routine and stuff like that. Like I don't like pushing weight in the evening or closer to bedtime.
But I think this person on something like light in the morning, sunlight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Good idea. And I should do that more. I know a lot of the time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like on the computer and I'm like, I should get out there and sunlight.
Especially now that it's like actually sunny, because like it depends on where you live. Like in Canada, it's like there's not a lot of early morning light.
So Nikki B asked a more serious one here, and it's about her blood tests say that she's got low iron. She's been taking supplements to help this, but my stomach isn't liking them. Any good ways to naturally up iron intake? So iron intakes or iron supplements can be quite hard on the stomach. It's a very, you need pretty high stomach acid in order to sort of like break it down, and a lot of the time they don't use like a great quality iron. They get the amount that's up really high, but yeah, it can cause a lot of, like they call it griping, stomach pains, constipation. So you want to, maybe you could try taking a different one. There's definitely like ones that are easier on the stomach. There's one called Easy Iron that is, it's by a company called Platinum. But then there's also like Mega Foods makes a really good one called Blood Builder.
It's
And
awesome.
yeah, and that one's really
It's
good
really
and really easy on the stomach. There's also curry leaf, which is which might be really easy on your stomach, and that comes in a capsule as well. So, and that's like, yeah, just the leaf from a curry.
There's another one called Spa Tone. I remember I took this.
Oh yeah, that's a liquid.
It's a liquid, but it's not like a liquid iron. It's actually like an iron-rich water from like the UK. It sounds really crazy and like a little bit like a little, you know, you're like, does that actually work?
Super easy on the tummy though.
So easy. So you just take like one little thing and it's like you're drinking kind of like water. It's really, it's crazy. But I find Mega Foods is probably like the most easy to find.
Yes.
Blood Builder, that one's good. Anyways, natural ways.
Yeah, but then also, of course, you know, trying to eat. So yeah, if you're taking supplementation and your iron isn't going up, there's other things that you want to look at, right? Is there any sort of like, you know, bleeding or anything that's happening inside? Is there a reason why you're not absorbing iron? You know, so definitely like look at that. You know, if the increase in intake isn't helping. But then of course we can't not mention iron-rich foods, right? And then of course you want to. So it's like beans, lentils, the dark leafy greens, right? Whole grains. You want to try and have those with a source of vitamin C because that helps with the absorption of iron. And also,
you want to have them away from things like coffee.
Yeah, that I wasn't going to say that, but that's a very important one.
And like those kind of things.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know where you were going with that, so I just thought I would come in with like what you shouldn't be having. You know,
but no, but what else increases the absorption other than
garlic and onions.
Yeah,
chopped garlic and onions.
So garlic and onion, chopped has to be chopped.
Yeah, you're just don't like, eat a whole. Take a bunch of. Well, I mean, you can. People do, but
yeah. So there you go. Yeah, and hopefully that helps you. That's all I got really on it without knowing more information. But I like these questions. Thank you for that. Becky Gibson, do either of you get heartburn? I used to get heartburn. And actually, I occasionally do, and only when I eat one food. And I feel like this is a good YouTube video, eh? Like it's such a clickbaity title.
What food gives me heartburn?
This one vegan food gives me heartburn, and it's actually like so dumb, but it's the Gardein like meatballs. I don't know what it is about them, but they give me heartburn, and so I don't eat them anymore. But anyways, heartburn. Okay, so what to know about this is, a lot of the time, acid reflux or heartburn and stuff is actually caused by low stomach acid, and it seems counterintuitive. But what happens is there is the esophageal sphincter, and that's the flap that is between our stomach and our esophagus, and it is triggered to close. I don't know which way it closes, but it's triggered to maybe even that way. It's triggered to close when the stomach pH is at a certain level. When we have, you know, enough pH, because that would mean that we have food in us and it's digesting. But when the pH isn't high enough, that can stay open, and then, you know, food can kind of like come back up. So yeah, look into that. And what happens when people take like the what's it called, like the calcium pills that lower your stomach acid, like the Pepto and all that sort of stuff, is that it lowers it enough that it's still coming up and it's still bubbling up, but you just don't feel it because the stomach acid is so low. And you don't want to do that because obviously that's going to affect the digestion. So yeah, so take definitely. You weren't asking for any help. You were just asking if we have it. So yeah, no, I don't get it anymore. But just be careful of just be mindful of that. And if you need to, you know, do something with your stomach acid to raise it up, there's definitely things that you can do. And I have a video on that, how I fix my digestion. I think I actually just hit like I don't want to say hit 1 million views, but maybe it did hit a lot of views. It's doing well, that one. Is it true that vegans shouldn't give blood?
What?
Yeah. No, that's not true. Vegans can give blood.
I used to give blood a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no reason why.
I used to give blood a lot, like every 3 months.
Yeah.
Not since like all the pandemic stuff has happened, because I don't know if I guess they're doing blood drives now. But anyways, yeah. And then what I would do is that for a week after that, I would take that Mega Foods blood builder, and that would help like kind of like build my iron and stuff back up. But yeah, vegans can give blood. I mean, I think I've never seen them screen for that. They've never asked.
No, but like, they test your blood.
Yes, they do test
levels of
your hemoglobin.
Yeah, your hemoglobin. Sorry.
So you have to have like a certain level for you to be able to donate. But they've never said anything, ever asked me what I eat or anything like that.
So someone here says you don't need iron supplements. There's plenty of iron in foods. So yeah, you are partly right. There is plenty of iron in foods, but sometimes people do need iron supplementation. And when your iron is low, your your digestion might not be working properly because that the minerals that we get from our food is such an important part of the enzymes that we need to digest our food. So it's sort of like sort of loop. Whereas if you don't have enough to properly digest the food, you're not going to get enough. So sometimes iron supplementation is required, especially if levels are really low. And you can ask, like, a lot. My professors in school, a lot of them were naturopath doctors, and they all said the same thing. Like, that once iron is at a certain level that's low, it's like can be dangerous,
Yes.
and you have to get it up with supplementation, and it could take too long doing it with just food, or might not happen at all until you're up there. But then when you're up there and you can maintain it with food, then yeah, that's ideally what you would want to do,
especially for women. Sorry, what were you
yeah,
gonna say?
no, I just thanks for a point. Like these sort of like questions and comments, are really helpful with the dialogue. So just thanks for that.
But especially for women, like if you have a heavy period and it's bringing your iron low, then like you have a heavy period like every month, then like you can only do so much to bring your iron up, and then it's going to be like it's going to kind of go like that, right? And I think your body only absorbs so much as well. So yeah, for some people, supplements can be really helpful. And then it'll help you kind of get up to that point. What?
Cool. I was just reading you guys are just funny with the questions. Wow. So yeah, I mean, what are we at? We're at an hour and 25. So we're going to answer 5 more questions and then we're going to go.
Famous last words.
I know. Plenty of iron in drinking. You mean if you're talking about alcohol, it's not going to help. It's going to do the opposite. Shoot, yeah, someone's here. Their T3 is low. What can they do? Thyroid's like one that you really want to work with a professional on. I could tell you to consume iodine or something like that, but so complex. Yeah. So without a lot more information and stuff, and even with that, I don't know if I would be able to help you. So I'm gonna just pass over that. Okay. Is the air nice in BC? Yeah, we have amazing air here, and especially on Vancouver Island because the winds blow westerly, so we get the winds from the Pacific Ocean. So we're doing pretty good. And then beyond that, it's like Fukushima and stuff. So who knows? Hopefully the radiation's all chilled out by the time it gets here. That's still going, hey?
No, I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
It's not, no one even talks about it. I'm still just blasting out radiation. We got other problems.
That's so funny.
I think you mentioned needing to move. Any update on that? No update on that. We talked about it at the start of this, but yeah, no update on that. It's prolonged a little bit though, because they're going to do some renovations upstairs and stuff like that. Yeah, why don't I release a hard copy of my book? Because it's basically effort. Like, I don't know. It's like, then I have to have inventory. Then you have to have distribution. You have to have, it's a lot more. So
it's a lot to do. It's a lot to do if you're doing it like by yourself, like self-publishing. Unless maybe if you self-publish with like Amazon or something, but we don't really. It's working for us doing like the ebook kind of thing right now. Maybe it'll.
I have a good question here. This one highlighted. Don't worry. So it says, "Do you guys were you done there?
Yeah.
Do you guys have non-vegan friends?"
No.
No.
Yes.
That'd be funny, eh? So
yeah,
we definitely,
of course.
definitely have lots of vegan friends. It's not a requirement to be friends with us, but yeah, I would some of my at the gym, like one of my good friends is definitely not vegan. He's much different than me, but he's always asking me about my diet and about food, and then he's consistently being like, oh, I know I got to eat more that way because I'm not feeling great eating this way. So it's just a matter of time, right, until he starts. But yeah, no, definitely not. And I have family that isn't vegan. I have friends that were vegan. That was their whole identity. That they said, how could people not be vegan? And now they're not vegan, and they're still my friends. And of course, sometimes I wish things were different, but you gotta let people do the thing. So yeah, just gotta keep shining that light and let people know that if they ever want to come back to the green side, it's right here.
Who's the most hyperactive of the two of you?
Oh,
Brian asks. He says, I'm guessing Derek. Hyperactive as in like always doing stuff? Yes, that would be Derek.
Yeah,
Derek's always just like, gotta do something. I gotta work on something. Gotta do this.
Yeah. I'm a busybody.
Yeah, busybody.
For sure.
Faux sure.
Mm-hmm. But Crystal is like, definitely has the youthful energy of the relationship. She goes to bed earlier. She has like better, like, like health habits, I'd say. And, like,
yeah, you're like, I gotta go to bed earlier. But you're like working on your little like RC cars and
like
stuff.
1 a.m.
Until like 8. And I'm just like,
I know.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So Canadians are so sweet, eh? We try.
I feel like I say a lot, actually. It's like, it's such a stereotype, but it's actually just so good in conversation because it like gets the point across.
So Kevin C's mentioned this. I think he's asked a few times because he said, I think it was him earlier, said that eggs were really hard for him to give up. And then this person says here, how long did it take after becoming vegan to stop craving meat, eggs, and dairy? Yeah. So like it depends on, it's going to depend on a lot of factors, right? Because if you live in like Louisiana or something, and it's like your whole family's having like barbecues each weekend,
right.
and they're cooking this like, seasoned meat, and it just like smells incredible, and you're in that environment all the time. Well, it's going to be a lot different for you than someone like Crystal and I, who sort of, create our own atmosphere and environment. But to answer your question, eggs for me was the last thing to kind of give up. And it wasn't so much that I craved them. I just didn't know what to replace them with, because eggs are just like the breakfast staple. It's like, you want, all the different ways that you can eat them. So, and then it wasn't until I kind of found smoothies and oatmeal. It's like, you guys ever heard of this thing called oatmeal? I discovered it a couple years back. But, no, it wasn't until I realized that like I could have those for breakfast instead of the eggs, or just like peanut butter on toast. I didn't have to like worry about having like, copious amounts of protein and cholesterol at my breakfast. I'd be okay. Then I was like, okay, now I can do this. So and I never, the cravings, it only ever happens when I was like I mentioned with you, like when I'd walk by like someone who's cooking like a street meat vendor or something, and you smell the onions and the seasoned like meat and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, you kind of get that craving. But there's so many foods nowadays, and you can duplicate those flavors and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. One thing that really helped me though is that like we're remembering, and because I was a big junior bacon cheeseburger fan from Wendy's, and like whenever I'd be driving home, hanging out, with my buddies or skateboarding all day, I'd just see Wendy's, pull in and get a handful of junior bacon cheeseburgers. But I started saying to myself, I know exactly what that tastes like, and I know exactly how it's going to make me feel. And I know that food's going to be there for me again tomorrow or the next day if I want it. And that was enough for me to just like kind of keep driving and not give in to those sorts of like cravings and things. So, and it's more of like an emotional attachment than it is the actual, like, anything else, I feel like. And what I also did too was I paid attention to how it made me feel. And if it was as good as I thought it would be, because you always romanticize this food to be like, okay, yeah, I remember I used to have this, I enjoyed it so much, and you think you're going to like it, and then you have it, and it's not nearly as good as what you had imagined or what you'd hoped. And a lot of the time you don't feel nearly as good after anyways. So I just think we only have so many opportunities each day to put healthy food and nutrition and fuel and stuff into our bodies. It's like, let's make the most of this. So that was for me. And also remember why you're doing it. It's for the love of the animals, it's for the environment or whatever. And just like keep remembering these things each time, these come up.
I mean, nowadays there's lots of alternatives to eggs. There's like Just Egg. There was that other alternative that you tried that's like similar. You can also make your own Just Egg, a lot more healthier, because obviously Just Egg is just like a processed food. But there's that if there's the texture. But like eventually over time though, it just like when you kind of give up like, say you gave up like potato chips or like candy, over time, you stop kind of craving that because you kind of find something that replaces that, if you will. So now when if I smell like eggs cooking or anything, I'm just like, it doesn't smell good. Like I don't know. It's weird. It like changes. Yeah. It never smelled good to me though. I never struggled with like cravings for that kind of stuff so kind of changes.
Remember the why. Someone said, yeah, it's a good one. Is there good vegan ice cream in Canada? Yeah, there's some good vegan ice cream in Canada.
I don't know where you're from, but it's probably very similar to.
Yeah, we don't have all the selection like that they do in the States, but I mean, we have, actually just yesterday I bought some Coconut Bliss. I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I ate a good portion of the container. I used to say, why don't they sell vegan?
The
Yeah,
gallon or like
but
the
now-
big, but now it's like I need just the small.
I
pint.
don't need the larger thing.
Yeah,
of
because
ice cream,
it's
'cause
so
I'll eat all
good.
that.
Coconut Bliss. There's
the Ben and Jerry's one.
The
There's the
vegan
gelato
one.
one that's so good. They sent me that free
Righteous.
stuff. Righteous.
Righteous.
They sent me free ice cream.
There's
They're always
another.
good in
There's
my
another.
books.
Not Coconut Bliss, but there's another one.
So good, soy good.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah. All the pretty
very,
standard ones.
Very like similar.
Yeah. But yeah, I tell you what though, whenever like I did it last night, I bought it, but usually all it takes for me is to like turn around and like look at the ingredients, and I'm like, yeah, put that
you're
one
like,
down. Especially the
man.
Ben and Jerry's. I'm always like, oh, that's gonna be so good later,
Yeah.
and then I look at the ingredients, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of crap in there.
But then it's like a treat, right?
Yeah, it is a treat. Yeah, yeah. So no, starches are not bad. Starch is not bad. Vargav Sai asked, are starches bad? No, they're not bad. Yeah, eat them. Last time you ate something non-vegan? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. The one I can think is the pizza. A couple of years back when I ordered a pizza and they were like, yeah, it's vegan cheese. And then I got outside and put a little bit on my mouth and I was like, that's not vegan cheese. And then, yeah, and they didn't even care. They were just like, oh yeah, sorry, we'll make you another one. And I was like, this is the first time in 7 years, I think it was like 7 or 8 years, I've had cheese. And I was like, it could be an allergy. And they're just like, oh yeah, sorry, we'll get you another one. And I'm like, I want more than that. So I'm gonna ask you, do you both drink alcohol? Pavement 422. So no, I'm Crystal definitely doesn't, but I don't either. And I you guys will know I had an experience like, a lot of alcohol when I was younger, and definitely. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Oh, she's fine. Definitely had definitely had some addictive tendencies and qualities, but yeah, I realized it wasn't for me. And then I'll tell you what, at the start of this the pandemic, I started drinking a bit again, and I just thought it would be nice to kind of have something to kind of take my mind off things. And I would drink a little bit, yeah, when I go visit my mom, and then it started to turn into like kind of any excuse that I could find. And I quickly realized, yeah, this is not for me. And one thing I did notice about the alcohol is like for a few days after, or a few days after, not for a few days, but a few days after, I'd start to be a little bit like depressed and start to be like down and just not have the same sort of energy I always have. And it took me a little while to like link it to that, but I'm much more consistent without it. So yeah, if anybody, wants that push, just, life's definitely better without it. So yeah, let's go for, one or two more questions and then we'll go. Counter joke for non-vegans. Alcohol is a toxin. Someone said, yeah, it is. It is a toxin. It's a very widely consumed toxin. All right, we're getting some of the same questions to get backyard gardening. We talked about that at the beginning of it. Live long and prosper, 100% with the consistency and no drinking. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can't believe I drank so much for so long. It's so crazy to think about. Someone's like, just ate a brownie. Enjoy the brownie, my friend. Cool. Well, I don't know. I think that's it. I want to say hi to. Oh, let's say hi to Ollie just before we go. Got our little wild one here. Yeah. Look at that. Ain't she cool? This cat is just like, yeah, one or two nights away from being outside to being feral. Like, I swear, she's just like such a wild one. But you know what we learned with these two cats is we didn't know her. She had a really her history was like unknown, and we knew that she grew up kind of a bad area, and we don't think that she gets many. She didn't get a lot of like coddling and love and stuff when she was young. She was like pretty feral when we got her, and then Polly, she was like nurtured, like very nicely, because a family of ours was the one that we got her from, or a family friend of ours we got her from. But it's just really interesting to see the difference of how. How that, because, we got Ollie when she was pretty young, and we were just so nice to her in such a calm environment, did everything we could, but she's still just like so on edge, nervous all the time. What's that noise? And then Polly's just like sleeps on her back, like, not a care in the world.
Yeah,
so.
She's like happy-go-lucky. He's like,
yeah, it could, I'm sure it has to do a bit with their innate, personality.
But it definitely depends on how like animals are raised.
Yeah,
like that.
I just find it so interesting. Anyways, okay, well, that's probably it. Seems like we're wrapping up. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. This is like, always really fun for us. And I always feel really useful because I get to answer like questions. And I always love having Krista here because she always answers better than I do. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, there's some cool questions coming in, but we'll have to save them for next time. I think it's a good time to yeah, there's some good questions. Do you recover from sickness quicker now being vegan? I don't know. I have to let you guys think about that one. I know. You got to eat healthy foods, high antioxidants, lots of vitamin C, lots of fruits and vegetables. Yeah, it's going to help you for sure. Stay at a healthy weight. We know that too. All right. Anyways, love you guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, hey, leave any video suggestions that you have in the comments down below. I know that I often go through sort of a recipe, like, cycle through a recipe video, full day of eating, and then sort of like a more educational one, like an amazing food, or like, why are beets good for athletics and stuff like that. And then, if you guys can, it would be really helpful for me. Let me know in the comments down below which kind of videos you want to see more of, or if you have something completely different you want to see, let me know, because I'm always looking for ideas. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Crystal. Love
You're
you.
welcome.
We're going to go for a bike ride today, or what are we going to do?
I think so, yeah. I think
Nice.
the weather's going to hold up.
Sweet. Sounds good. Get out there.
Very
Move your bodies, guys.
excited.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.